Okay, so in our last video, we created this wonderful little bin, I guess. It's like a little bin, and it's got a great little sticker on it. And we used the information from our PNG, which remember, in alpha just gives us black and white values. And we used those black and white values to generate a mask. And that mask was I'm just going to remove this for a second. That mask was this shape right here. I'm going to make this black. And then we filled that mask with the colors inside of our sticker. So we were using the alpha to generate the mask, and we were using the color to be able to fill in the color for our mask. Great. But what I think would be pretty cool is if we could actually designate exactly where we wanted our mask to be inside of Blender. And in fact, this is something that we were doing in class when we were using Vertex painting. So right now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click on my object, I'm going to go over to Vertex paint mode, and I'm probably just going to go into solid mode really quickly. Now, the first thing you'll remember is that I have to go into edit mode, I have to press A, I have to left click, and I have to subdivide, because remember, we're painting vertexes. So if I only have like 2 vertexes, it's not really going to do anything. I'm not really going to be able to paint much. The resolution for my painting of a mask is going to be very, very, very limited. So I need to add a few more vertices inside of my mesh. This is just creating the resolution. And it's also still pretty much like a low res image at this point. I'd really have to get crazy if I wanted to make it extremely detailed. But this is perfect. I can now go into vertex painting mode, and I'm going to say, you know what? Set to vertex color. I want it to be all black, which is a value of 0 in terms of a value. And then by pressing X, I toggle to the alternative color. And I'm going to make my strength 100, and I'm going to make my radius small, even smaller. You can see I can now draw on this. Great. But I want to start off with nothing drawn on here. Now, in order to use this mask, and that's what this is, it's a mask, I will need to refer to it here. So you know what? I'm going to take this whole thing right here. I'm just going to move this down so it's kind of out of our way. And there's all these coils over here, but we can just kind of ignore them. And I'm going to go ahead and add this attribute. So let's see if it is called attribute. It is. This is it right there. In Blender 4.0, you would just see the attribute on the top. And in fact, when you went to go add something inside of your shader preview menu, you would see attributes at the top, and you would select the one that you had used when you were painting this square. In this case, I am going to press Shift A, and I am going to search for an attribute. And remember, I just have to name it this thing right here. I can just say attribute. Okay, great. So let's unpack what we have here. We have a mask. This alpha channel is a mask. This is also a mask. So we can use the factor of this, or we could even use the alpha of this. It honestly doesn't really matter, to be able to designate where a structure is going to be. So we'll need to use another mix color node. And I'm going to mix it partially with our last result. And also say I want to make wherever we want to mask blue. And then I'm going to take the factor, and I'm going to use this as to where I want to put that blue. Now you'll see maybe blue isn't the best result. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and add an image texture. And I'm going to make that image texture the UV example that we were talking about before. Whoa, so now I have a mask. That mask is controlled by where I paint. And what is behind the mask is the UV example. So let's see if this is actually going to work. I am not super... Whoa! What? I wonder if I could add something like moss onto this as a particular image texture. You can! You can add whatever you want. You could add moss, you could add blood, you could add vines, you could add whatever you want, whatever. And then you could go ahead and use this factor in terms of things like specular. You could also use this factor in your height map. So a lot of stuff going on here. I'm going to take this off of both of these. But the important part to note is that when we are vertex painting, we are literally creating a mask, and we can put whatever image we want behind that mask. The important part is we're just generating a mask. When we add an image, we are creating the mask from the alpha value. And here's something also important to note. If I drew over this, you would see that this goes over our sticker. And this is because the order in which we add these masks has an impact on how they layer over each other. So, when you are vertex painting, consider that this could be whatever you want it to be in terms of images. If you have like a really interesting, image of computer circuitry, you could paint that on as something that is behind your mesh. So, hopefully the combination of these two things clarifies a little bit about what we are doing in class today. And I will also go ahead and upload this Blender file for you if you want to take a look at it. And I will see everybody on Wednesday. Bye.